How's it going, guys? It's LaserBeast here. It's been a while, but I'm back with a video to tell you today why I'm going to be maining a Warlock in Battle for Azeroth. So the choice for me was between Warlock, Hunter and Death Knight, but the Warlock ticked the most boxes out of everything, and I'll tell you a bit about why. So overall, the class fantasy of the Warlock is right up my street. I prefer characters that have kind of a dark fantasy in MMOs, so originally I was going to main a Druid, but it just felt a bit too goody two-shoes, and I just didn't like the feel of it when I got to test it on the beta, so Warlock it is. And I like the kind of darkness that Warlocks bring to the table. So, the specs. So each spec is very unique within itself, I tend to find, so I can get bored pretty easily when playing DPS, for example. I've mained Hunter for a long time, but I always find myself, no matter what expansion it's been in, changing something else because I've just got a bit sick of the Hunter. So, all the specs are pretty unique. And it gives us something, if you get a bit bored of Affliction, you can go try and do the two specs and blah de blah, so on. So there'll always be something there enough to keep me coming back throughout Battle for Azeroth. And this has been something pretty much, if you've had the joy of playing a Warlock over the years, the specs have always been pretty different, and that's not going to change in BFA, so it's a pretty solid part of being a Warlock. It was quite enlightening actually to play on the Battle for Azeroth beta early on without having access to damage meters and just focusing purely on how it felt to play a spec rather than focusing on what numbers it put out, which is obviously a stupid thing to do on a beta due to things changing so much all the time anyway and numbers not being tuned. But today we can get so wrapped up on numbers and forget to actually just enjoy the class for what it is and how it plays, so it was a nice thing to do on the beta there. Another big reason to main a Warlock is obviously the Demonology revamp, and you've probably heard this about a million times, but yeah, Demo is bloody good in Battle for Azeroth, and it's so good, you definitely need to give it a try if you haven't already. I'm not sure kind of what the talent builds are going to be for dungeons and raids and everything like that, but everything I've tried out has been satisfying and it's just been fun to play. I'm happy to go with whatever the best talents are, blah de blah, because I know I'll have a fun time. And it's just good to experiment every now and then, which is what it gives you the option to do. Now, I didn't actually mind Demonology when it was as it is currently in Legion. Obviously it had its issues, but I felt it was quite alright, but they've really have nailed it with the way that they've currently got it set up in Battle for Azeroth. Things may still change, you know what I mean, when it comes to the first round of proper tuning, like 8.1 or whatever, but I don't think they can really mess it up. I think they'll be pretty proud of what they've made there with the demo lock, and I think the feedback's been pretty good from everybody so far, so why change it, hey? Famous last words. Another reason, the big visual updates that Warlocks have had, which we've been waiting for a while. A lot of classes got theirs in Legion. They did say that Warlocks were going to have to wait a little bit longer, but hey, it's been worth the wait. They really had another level of polish added to the class, and it really draws me in, because me personally, I care quite a lot about how I look for one, but also how the class feels when casting your spells. There's nothing better than casting a big fat green chaos bolt towards your enemy and watching the way it lights up corridors as it travels down. That's just really satisfying. And as for all the other spells like the new demon summons, the new soul well, the new portal summoning stone thing, I forgot its actual name, very unprofessional, but it just all looks so good. Another reason for me personally with the Warlock is that it's a pet class, so it gives you lots of options there. Whether you're questing and you just want your Void Walker out, whether you're doing a bit of PvP and you want your Succubus, for example, for a bit of CC. It gives you all these options and a bit of different feel of play for each pet that you've got currently active. It's really great to be able to pick whichever pet you want depending on whatever situation you're going into, and it just helps keep the gameplay that bit more fresh. So Warlocks are getting quite a lot of hype at the minute, and a lot of people are saying that, oh, there's going to be so many Warlocks come BFA and it's just going to be a big lockfest, but I do kind of disagree with that for the most part. Maybe there'll be slightly more people that will play the Warlock at the beginning of Battle for Azeroth just to give things like Demo a try, but I don't think that many people will actually stick with it throughout the expansion. I'm sure people will have at least a look and have one as an alt to give the class a go, and there's nothing wrong with that, and I recommend that you do. But I just think that there's already a good amount of Warlocks anyway on live servers because of how good a position Warlocks are in at the minute anyway, especially Affliction Warlocks, so I don't think there'll really be that massive a spike. So there we go, guys. They're pretty much the main reasons why I'm going to main a Warlock in Battle for Azeroth. I cannot wait. You're going to have to let me know what class you've chosen to main in the comments down below if you've chosen already. I'll be interested to find out what that is. And if you haven't chosen, then I hope that the thoughts that I've had on my choosing process have maybe helped you to narrow down your choices a little bit as well. So good luck in picking if you haven't already picked your main for BFA. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you next time.